Hey everyone, it's Sophia here from Zen Guidance. I hope all is well with you today, and thank you so much for clicking on this pick a card reading. So, this reading's title is Let Me Describe You Perfectly, Accurately. Okay, so this reading is going to be all about you. Okay, so if you'd like to see what I come up with when it comes to you as a person, all you need to do is click on one of the three images on your screen. Feel free to pause the video here if you need some time. And once you've made your choice, you can go to the description box below where you'll find the corresponding timestamps to your chosen pile. And you'll also find a link to my website where you'll find all of my services and readings that I provide. Okay, so let's get into your reading now. Click the timestamp and I'll see you there. Hi, Group 1. Okay, so let me describe you perfectly. Okay, let's take a look. Group number 1. What is coming through about you? Let me describe you. Okay, so we have Moon, Soul, Yod, Destiny, and then Earth, Stability. Okay, so you may have strong Earth placements in your chart, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but then also I've got Pisces and Cancer here, which you may also resonate with. Now, I'm getting the sense that you are a very sensitive person, okay? You may be an empath. You may feel other people's emotions very strongly. Okay, sorry, 1 second. I really need to move that crystal. And it's so weird. That crystal has been knocked over for about a week, but I had this real strong urge. I needed to move it. So you may have intrusive thoughts. You may have some OCD tendencies, okay, where things have to be just so. Things have to be in alignment. Definitely strong Virgo coming through here. But anyway, let me get back to what I was talking about with the moon. So yeah, I do feel like you are somebody that is very sensitive. And like I said, you feel things very, very deeply. Now, I also feel like you're somebody that's naturally very caring towards other people, but sometimes I don't feel like you're as caring towards yourself, okay? You may be quite self-sacrificing, always giving, always wanting to help other people, but not always taking care of your own emotional health. I feel like sometimes there could even be some blocks there, maybe because you're so sensitive, so you may actually repress things or try to do things to escape from your emotions at times, okay? Whether that be through music or film or social media, through drugs and alcohol, but it could also be through very, healthy ways as well, through creativity, through spirituality. I also feel like you're somebody that is very psychic, okay? You pick up on these intuitive hits, and I feel like you oftentimes will follow them. Now, what I'm getting here with this Yod is that you're also incredibly powerful, Group 1, okay? Like when you have a goal that you set out, like you go for it, like you have this laser focus where there is nothing that will stop you, nothing that will truly get in your way. Because this is the point of destiny here. Okay, a lot of very successful people in this world will have a Yod aspect in their chart. Okay, so it'd be interesting to point out or to look into your chart to see if you do have any Yods or even trines here as well, or these triangle shapes that are pointing towards your destiny. Okay, so depending on which house it points towards, because this is the point of focus. Okay, so you may have these two planets that are combining their energies together to point you towards this area of focus in your life. Okay, so you may be very work or career driven, very money driven. I do get that sense from you, Group 1, that you have a lot that you want to achieve in life. Okay, now whether these are material gains that you want to achieve and you'll achieve them through whichever means necessary, or whether these are specific career goals that you want to be successful in. I do feel like you have a propensity to be famous, to be well known. Maybe you already are somebody that's well known, or certainly I feel like that may be part of your destiny. And I do feel like it's connected to your earthly success on this planet here. Okay, so again, when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your career, but I also feel like this could be your physical body. Okay, you may channel these energies into exercise, into some kind of sport, into achieving certain heights within sports goals, fitness. Okay, maybe you were like this as a child, and I feel like you may have actually been intuitively pulled into some kind of exercise or hobby that really helps you to get out of your emotional state. And I feel like it's actually your emotional state that helps to drive you, because it may even be emotional pain that causes you to make the biggest changes in your life, that forces you out of your comfort zone in order to achieve what you truly desire. Okay, you're not somebody that gives up easily either. Okay, you may obviously take breaks. We all need to take breaks from time to time, but as a whole, I feel like if there's something you want, like, you are destined to win at that. Okay, and it's like you won't enter into something if you don't feel like you have a chance at winning. Okay, like, you'll chase after it if you feel like you have a fighting chance at it. Whereas I feel like you won't waste your time on something if you don't feel like it's really going to benefit you in the long run. Again, not to say that you don't at times get distracted. You may do. That's natural for us all at times. But yeah, I just feel like you're a very, very determined person, Group 1. So let's get some more information to describe you perfectly, accurately. Okay, to the sea. So yeah, again, I do feel you are somebody very creative. Okay, I feel like you're great at coming up with these innovative ideas. Now, I do feel like you take pride in your appearance. Okay, that's something also that's coming through very strongly. Like, you maybe even have rituals. Say you have a nice bath or a shower and you always exfoliate and then moisturize, or yeah, anything that kind of helps you to improve in your appearance, but also to disconnect from the world at times in order to balance out your emotions. So you may at times isolate yourself, okay? And I feel like this is a lot of I feel like this is out of self-protection for you. Again, because I can feel like you're quite a perfectionist. Sometimes it can almost feel quite overwhelming for you, and you may have like a to-do list as long as your arm at times. And if you feel better when you're able to have that list and tick things off, but then there's times where you just need to retreat, to get away from the list, to get away from the world, to just spend some quality time with you. Okay, so you may be an artist, okay, or yeah, some other kind of creator. By the book. So that's very interesting, because you've got these different facets of your personality here, where again, I feel like you've got that lovely feminine creative side where you will go with the natural flow of things, where you will, like, for example, maybe you have like North Node and South Node in Pisces Virgo, okay, because that's kind of what I'm getting here, this push-pull between the metaphysical, the spiritual, the flexible, to the determined, to the focused, to the detail-orientated. Okay, because I do feel like you're somebody very, very detail-orientated in everything that you do. It's like, again, everything kind of has to be perfect. But I feel like this is something that you're learning in this lifetime, that there really is no such thing as perfection. You can do as, the best that you absolutely can. And I feel like you always strive for that, but I think that it is a lesson that you have been learning, that sometimes it's that, or there truly is no such thing as perfect. There's maybe your version of perfect, but really when you compare yourself to other people, there is no perfect. And so yeah, this might be something that you've had to battle with at different points during your lifetime. But I'm also getting this very traditional sense from you. It's giving me strong Capricorn energy, where you like to follow the rules, where you like to do things in a traditional, conventional way. So like, again, so you've got this to-do list. You might like to work through it in a chronological order. or in terms of, say, relationships. So maybe this is something you strive to have traditional values in relationships. You know, you may be striving to have a family, to get married, to have children, and maybe you would want to do it in that conventional way where you meet somebody, then you get engaged, then you get married, then you live together, then you have children. Okay, but it doesn't have to be about family. This could also be, again, about your work, being quite strategic, or again, your physical body, you know, laying out a plan and a framework for what you want to achieve, and then working through it very methodically. Okay. I also feel like there's something about being a great teacher. I feel like you've learned so much in your life through trial and error, and I feel like this is something that you're able to impart on to others moving forwards. Oh, and then we've got happy. So, which is lovely to see, because I do feel you've got this very bubbly personality, like a happy disposition. Now, this may be a happy front that you put on to the world, okay? This might be a mask that you wear, so you may not always be feeling happy, because I do feel like there's some deep sadness that also comes through here, okay? But of course, that's life, there's ebbs and flows. But yeah, I feel like you are an overall happy person. Again, you might have these hard times that you go through, but ultimately I don't feel like you let them get you down for long. And I feel like you're definitely like a shining light to other people. And like you always try to put a positive spin on everything. So again, anything you're going through, or friends or family, colleagues, clients, like you try to always end with a positive note, and you always leave people feeling better than when you found them, okay? Which I think is a very beautiful quality that you possess, group number 1, okay? I feel like you actually have a really beautiful smile. Whether you believe it or not, I feel like it's very engaging. It's very magnetic, okay? You draw people towards you with your positive energy, okay? And I feel like you're able to actually help people to feel happier when they're in your presence. Like you really light up the room, and you're, you know, say you're at a party, you are the life and soul of the party. Even if you are going through your own personal struggles, I don't feel like you let a lot of people really see that, okay? You may keep a lot of that to yourself at times, group 1, okay? But let's see what else is coming through about you. Okay, we've got Journey, Goddess of the Moon. So again, yeah, I do feel, like I said, you are an incredibly intuitive person. However, sometimes I do feel your intuition gets blocked here. Okay, you may not always be able to see things clearly. So sometimes you may struggle with intrusive thoughts or a lot of overthinking, and overthinking can oftentimes clog up the third eye chakra. One second, let me just, sorry, I hate this. This is my own Virgo tendencies here. I hate when like things are slightly out of alignment here. Okay, one second. Everything looks straight. There we go. Again, maybe this is the way that you are. You like everything to be kind of straight in parallel lines. Again, maybe you overthink a lot of these things, and again, then sometimes you struggle to see things clearly at first. And maybe as well, like you're somebody that always sees the good in people. You always see the positives. You see, you know, you don't look at the negative. You're not somebody that's overly judgmental at first. And it may be that sometimes this can be a really great thing. And I would say it's always a really great thing to see the positives in people. But sometimes it may have caused you problems and pain because you don't always see someone's motivation. And because you are really pure of heart, and you may then project that onto other people and think everybody else is pure of heart. But then this may cause you to end up being hurt by other people, because you may misinterpret their intentions, okay? Especially, you know, there are some evil people out there. There are some people with some negative intentions or motivations, or, you know, that are there to cause pain or want to bring you down to their level. But I just feel like you move through the world in that way, in quite an innocent sense. And again, you don't like to see people or the world in that way. But it may be sometimes you have these sort of big reality checks and wake-up calls where you realize that, yeah, not everybody is always out to benefit me or to do things for my highest good. They may be manipulative. They may be doing things for their own personal gain, even if that ends up hurting you. So that may be a harsh lesson that you've been learning at times. And again, maybe even in terms of channeling your intuition, because when you really channel your intuition, it can lead you to so many amazing places and opens up the door to opportunities that you may not have seen if your third eye was blocked or closed. So I do feel like that's, something I feel like you have been working on, or something that you are destined to work on in this lifetime, which will make things run a lot more smoothly for you. Okay, now with the journey card here in reverse, this can connect to travel, okay, long distance travel. But the fact that it's reverse, maybe you haven't traveled as much as you would like to. Maybe there's parts of the world that you feel like you are destined to see. Maybe that's part also of your destiny, is to travel a bit more. Or maybe this is about relocating somewhere. But you may be somebody that struggles with changes to your routine. Like maybe you want to travel, and maybe you have traveled, but you find it kind of messes with your energy a little bit. Because I believe some people really thrive when they're always in new places, seeing new places, exploring constantly, and that could be really good for them. And other people need more structure, need more routine, need to be in the same place for, a while in order to feel grounded and secure. And I feel like you may be one of those people. Again, not to say that you don't enjoy traveling and you don't thrive in different ways, but yeah, it really feels like there is this need to stay in one place a lot of the time, so that you can feel very balanced in that way. And especially if you do have certain career goals that you're looking to achieve in your life, where you need to be, in the same place, where you need to be focused on one thing, so you don't kind of get all scattered like these cards are right now. They're just all falling out. Hold on a second. Okay, I hope this is making sense for you, by the way. No idea if this is connecting with you, but if it is, please comment a green emoji, any of your choice, okay? Or comment something if it is making any sense to you. Would love to know. Okay, what else is coming through about you? Polar bear, nurture. Allow any anxieties and worries to gently be released and offered up to be healed. Okay, which does make a lot of sense with everything else that has come through. I do feel like that might be something that, does plague you from time to time, is, your mental worries, overthinking, anxiety. Because anxiety is living in the future. And they say that depression is living in the past, anxiety is living in the future. But I do feel it's like a bit of a double-edged sword in a sense. So I don't know if that's the right phrase, actually, but it's like, sometimes it can cause you pain, but then it can also be very beneficial, because when you're, overthinking things when it comes to work, for example, then it might be a good thing, because you're really looking at everything from different angles, okay? Which can help you to succeed, because you're not missing the details of things. But then maybe when it comes to your personal life, or, to your relationships, or to your emotional well-being, it can sometimes be detrimental, okay? And sometimes you may feel, like I said, isolated. Whether this is you feel isolated by other people, or maybe you choose to isolate yourself at times because, you need to protect yourself, because again, you are somebody very sensitive. So it may be out of protection that you isolate. Okay, and I'm noticing we've got two little babies here. We've got the baby elephant, we've got the baby polar bear. So you may be a parent already. You may be a single parent. For some of you, that may be the case here. But this may be something you're also destined to be as a parent in this lifetime. Or maybe you naturally draw people to you that almost need that kind of parental nurturing. So you may also be a bit of a magnet for people that are going through a lot of healing, people that need healing. For some of you, maybe even you might attract emotional vampires. So this may also be why you feel you need to isolate, why you need to protect yourself in an emotional way. Okay, then we've got the snake, Kundalini rising. Channel your creative passion and sensuality. Welcome the transformation. So I do feel like you have shed a lot of old skin, okay? You've gone through a lot of transformations in your life, and I feel like you are still meant to go through more moving forwards, okay? You may have lost a lot of people, a lot of connections, whether that's through death or through the natural cycle of relationships or friendships coming to an end, okay? The bonds being made and broken in this lifetime. Okay, but I feel like it's all for your highest good. Okay, when people leave your life, it's for your benefit. Or if you feel the need to exit, again, it's for your benefit. And they say that with relationships, don't they? They can be for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And I feel like that's something that you are coming to terms with, but you may have found it very painful, especially in your childhood, I sense, okay? I do feel certainly as a child, you were very, very sensitive. You may have connected also with the beyond. I feel like you may even have mediumship abilities, group 1, okay, where you can connect with people from past on loved ones, okay. You may have had a lot of very crazy intense dreams. You may still have a lot of crazy intense dreams, okay, that cause you to awaken in many ways. What else was I going to say? There was something else I was going to say about that. Yeah. Earaches. You may have suffered with kind of health issues, earaches, that kind of thing, headaches when you were a child. And I feel like that was connected to your intuition. You may have clairaudient abilities where you hear certain messages, okay, from the beyond. I also get the sense you are somebody that is very sexy, okay? I know that seems like kind of comes out of nowhere, but you've got this kind of sexual magnetism about you. And I feel like it's something you don't even have to try to do. It's just something that's there within you, you know, whether you believe that or not. Okay, I definitely feel like that's something you possess. Like you are able to kind of hypnotize people in a way. And in this very effortless way. It's, again, I don't feel like it's something you set out to do. But again, this may be like people get quite obsessed with you. People can sometimes like not leave you alone. So hence why like you feel like you need to shut the door on people at times. Okay, I'm just getting some astro dice and I will get the fishbowl messages as well today. Okay, so we've got Libra, we've got the number 7, and we have Uranus. So we've got a couple of 7s here. So 7 may be a number you see a lot in synchronicity, maybe lately, or just maybe you were even born on the 7th or the 7th month. Or maybe the year you were born ends in a 7, it could be. But 7 also connects to the 7th house, which is also Libra ruled, which connects to partnerships with other people. So yeah, this may be as well that you're always, a lot of the time you are with another person, like you may have, you know, very close friends or a solid relationship, or maybe not so solid all the time, but maybe you always have a relationship, or maybe that's something that's always playing on your mind, even if you're somebody that is single or isolating a lot of the time. Like you may always feel like called to think about relationships, and oftentimes you want to connect with other people, and it's something you feel like you're learning a lot in this lifetime. But you may have had a lot of upheaval in relationships with Uranus being there, which can cause a lot of shakeups and unpredictability. So yeah, like I was saying about bonds being made and broken, you may have had quite a lot of relationships that have been created and then ended, okay, which can of course be very painful at times. But I do feel you as a person as well, group 1, you do have a level of unpredictability. It's strong Aquarius energy coming through. So I feel like a lot of the things you do, people don't expect. Okay, you do think outside of the box in many ways, which is why I also feel like you're somebody destined for a lot of success in this lifetime. A lot of like the most successful people in the world will have some strong Aquarius placements because they are innovative. You know, they're not copying other people's ideas or just spinning them in some way. They're really coming up with their own unique ideas. And so I do feel like that's something that you possess very strongly here. But you may also have been seen as rebellious, and maybe as a child that was very painful for you, because if you didn't feel like you fit in, or you feel like you stood out in some way, and maybe you feel like that now, but you've learned to accept that as yourself and actually start to embrace it more so. Okay, so let's see what else is coming through here, group number 1. When it comes to you as a person, I just saw the card social media influencer. It just kind of flashed in front of my eyes just then. So again, you might be somebody that is an influencer. Maybe that's something you're destined to do. Okay, just get a couple more here. Okay. So we have no contacts. So yeah, again, that I feel like connects to that sense of isolation at times. Sometimes you don't want to contact anybody, or you don't want to be contacted. Like you may put your phone on do not disturb a lot because you just need that peace. Okay, we've got makeup artists. So that may be something that you do as a job, or something that's a hobby, something you find interesting. You know, it could be just the way that you apply your makeup is very beautiful, again, very artistic. But, you know, whether you're somebody that wears a lot of makeup or not, it's something about being young. I feel like you look younger than you really are. Okay, or you always will look younger than you really are. Like, kind of makeup hides like imperfections and kind of makes you look sort of your best self. I feel like maybe that's also about the mask that you put on, your social mask. Like, everything's always okay. You know, you're always looking fresh, even if you don't feel it on the inside. Because here we've got anxious attachment. So you may have an anxious attachment style in relationships. You may struggle to let go, and you may sometimes get a bit paranoid, get a bit worried. Again, there's a lot of overthinking that comes through with this. But maybe this is something that you have naturally worked on over the years. Maybe it's something you're still trying to work on at times. But again, for some of you, you may actually attract people with an anxious attachment style, which again kind of makes you want to put the wall up and go, hey, step it back a little bit. And then we've got limerence, which makes a lot of sense too, because it connects to overthinking, fantasizing a lot, and sometimes it can become unhealthy, especially when it comes to relationships. People oftentimes can be limerent in the beginning stages of relationships, but oftentimes it becomes obsessive when the relationship ends, or it's not going the way that you would have wanted it to go in some way. So that may be something you battle with at times. Don't keep me in the dark. So yeah, again, this could be other people feeling like you keep them in the dark. You may not always share your issues or your hard times with other people. But you may also feel like, I don't know, there might be a push-pull between wanting to be seen, wanting to be social, wanting to be acknowledged and noticed, between then wanting to be hidden, wanting to be private, wanting to shy away from the limelight or attention or from other people. So definitely these two facets of your personality seem to be opposing at times. Okay, but I also feel like the truth is very important to you, Group 1. Like, you would rather somebody be upfront and tell you something, even if it's hurtful. You would rather them say what's really on their mind, what's bothering them, or what's going on, so you can process it, so you can deal with it. Okay, so I feel like being informed is something very important to you. Creative, yes, I mean, that makes sense. That has come through multiple times here. You are a very creative person. Introvert, naturally, I do feel you've got those introverted tendencies. But again, maybe you can come across extroverted at times, but you definitely have those introverted tendencies as well. We've got push to the limit. So sometimes you can be somebody that feels quite overwhelmed, but I feel like it's because you put a lot of pressure on yourself, Group 1. A lot of pressure to be perfect, a lot of pressure to get everything done or to do everything right, you know. But life is so much of a juggling act, isn't it? But I feel like this can definitely overwhelm you. But I also feel like this is your power, your gift, because you will push yourself to the limit. If, again, there's something you wish to achieve, like, you're not just going to you're not like a meh kind of person, you know. You are I'm going for this, I want this, I'm going to get it. And I feel like that is what really causes you to achieve things. Trying too hard. Trying too hard. So sometimes you may try too hard and you may deplete your energy at times. So again, that might be something that you realize. But the thing is, like I said, you may be pushing yourself in too many different areas, and it's like something has to give. Okay, but this may also be in relationships. Maybe you've been told this before, that you try too hard with other people. Or again, maybe this is something you did as a child, trying too hard to get attention or to be loved. And, you know, it's just like that, or that inner child of you just wants to be, you know, acknowledged and appreciated. But you may get a bit of a pushback from people at times. Okay, but again, on the flip side, it could be you attract people that kind of try too hard to get you or get your attention. We've got Friday. Could be you were born on a Friday. Friday is the day of Venus, though, which also connects to that 7 and to the Libra energy there. So, I do feel like you're somebody that is very, excuse me, and somebody that is very beautiful. Okay, somebody that is maybe conventionally attractive. Okay. Whether you believe this or not, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot about appearance coming through here. And I feel like you really do take pride in your appearance. I do feel you're somebody that was born with natural good looks, but it's something that you work to maintain throughout your life. And again, it's like relationships are definitely very important to you. So yeah, you're certainly a very multifaceted person, I would say, group 1. And then finally, we have lie detector. So yeah, I feel like you are a natural lie detector. You have that built into you. Okay, you're very good at being able to detect people's lies. Maybe you're into psychology, okay, or people behavior, lying behavior. Maybe this is something that you've researched, or it may just be, like I said, something that's just natural within you. Like you can always sense when somebody is telling a lie. And so sometimes that may also be what causes you to isolate, because you may struggle with that when you see that people are lying and you struggle with them being inauthentic. Okay, so maybe rather than confronting it, you just back off and shy away from it, because you don't want to involve yourself with that, either that energy, or you don't want to get into an argument about it. You would just rather sort of back off and, let them tell their lies to other people. Okay, but it's definitely a talent that you possess, group 1. So anyway, this is what I see. This is what I see about you, group 1. I really do hope it resonates. If it does, please comment below. And liking the video and subscribing to my channel really shows your energetic support. So I really appreciate you doing so in advance. So thank you so much. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, the link to my website is below. I do hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye for now. Hi, group 2. So let's take a look at what's coming through for you. Let me describe you perfectly and accurately. Okay, so let's see what's coming through. Okay, there's a bit of nudity on this card, so I'm just going to... One second, pop one in front of it. Okay, so we have the 7th house, partners. So that's strong Libra energy coming through. Solar eclipse, revolution. Ooh, fire element, desire. Okay. Now let me just make sure everything is aligned. So, group number 2. Now, you may have strong fire placements as well as Libra in your chart. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Okay, regardless whether you do or you don't, I definitely feel like you are a very passionate person. Okay, I feel like you could also be the fire starter. If you're into human design, you may be a manifester or a manifesting generator. Okay, because I feel like you are somebody that gets the ball rolling. Now, you may not always realize you're doing so, but I feel like you're very inspirational to people, and I feel like you have a great impact on this world, okay, whether it's for good or for bad. So this may be something that you have noticed, like the words that you say are very impactful to people, okay, or the actions that you take are very impactful. Okay, I feel like you also have a lot of energy that you need to expend throughout your day. So you may also just be a pure generator as well, where you need to burn off a lot of your energy every day. And if you don't, you may feel unsatisfied in your life. So you feel like you need to achieve a lot of things. You may be somebody into sports, okay, or some other form of exercise. Like you need to keep your physical body always moving. Or you may feel like in your career, you may always need to be on the move. Maybe you actually travel a lot for your career or for pleasure. Okay, maybe that's something you also feel destined to do in this lifetime, is to travel, is to explore new places. Yeah, I just feel like you've got I almost saw this excited puppy. So you've got a lot of this kind of excited energy within you. Sometimes this can manifest as nervousness. okay? Because it's like you've got so much that you need to burn through every day. So it's like, say there are days when, of course, you do need to rest. You may feel a bit restless if you don't burn off that energy. Okay, but again, I feel like you've got a very passionate heart. You've got a lot of desires in your life. Like you may be somebody that, wants to achieve many different things. Okay, or maybe there's a lot of things that you enjoy on a daily basis that you desire, whether that is, different foods or drinks, or, a desire to connect with people, a desire to even start a revolution in some way. So yeah, I feel like you've also got a bit of a rebellious side to you, where I feel like in the sense of like you want to improve things. So think about always improving things for yourself or improving things for other people. I feel like you could even be a natural born leader. Like you're somebody that sees different ways of managing things. Like maybe you are a business owner, okay? Or like you're working your way up the ladder. Maybe you're somebody that is in charge because you do have these natural leadership qualities. Okay, because again, it's like you're the one that gets things started, okay, and then other people will follow suit, okay, will follow your example. So yeah, you definitely are somebody that, a lot of people I feel like look up to and get inspired by in this lifetime. Okay, now you may have even started a revolution, or maybe this is something that you are destined to do in this life. In terms, that can manifest in so many different ways, but I feel like this is you thinking outside of the box in that way, okay? Like it may not be something that everybody possesses are these qualities. And of course, we're all very different human beings. We all possess these, very different qualities and characteristics. But I feel like, you're definitely somebody with a lot of heat. Maybe you also enjoy the warmth. Maybe you enjoy to, go on holiday to hot places. You enjoy to lay in the sun, or maybe you even want to relocate to somewhere warm if you are born somewhere cold, for example, okay? And maybe even just your body temperature is quite hot. Like you might be somebody that will wear like sandals in the wintertime, or, you're always seen in a t-shirt or something. Or like, for example, I know whenever I go to London, I always get really, really hot there for some reason. Maybe because it's all of the running around, going on the tube, etc. And I'll often like strip off and take off some layers, and other people look at me crazily, especially if it's cold outside. But it's like as soon as I get moving just a little bit, like I get really super hot. So you may also be that way a little bit here, group number 2. Now with the 7th house, partnerships, so this connects to that descendant on your natal chart. So you may have a lot of planets. Maybe you've got Mars. Maybe you've got Mars in Libra, for example, okay, or again, Mars within your 7th house of relationships. So you may take a lot of action towards other people. Maybe you don't like to be alone, okay? You may like to always be with another person, okay? Maybe you're somebody that's always in relationships, always in monogamous relationships, or because there are some people that will spend a lot of time single and then enter into relationships here and there, and then other people that will sort of flow from one monogamous relationship to another, or even having lots of different short-term relationships, okay? But this could also be in terms of friendships, business partnerships. Libra is the sign of balance and duality, but also connected to other people. It's also Venusian energy, okay, so ruled by Venus. So you may also like to take action on looking your best, looking very beautiful. I feel like you've actually got a great eye for beauty. So maybe you even work within that industry, or you might like to keep a lot of beautiful things around you. Like you like to look at pretty things, in your home, for example. Or again, I feel like you're an amazing dresser. Like you may be a power dresser, again, with all of that fire, that business and leadership, these leadership qualities you have. Or again, maybe in that sort of more Venusian, feminine way. Like you may just have a great eye for style. People may comment a lot on the way that you dress, okay? And that some people are just very natural at being able to put outfits together and always looking amazing, okay? And some people have to work a little bit harder at that, but I feel like that's just something natural that you possess, okay? And I also feel like you are very much a people person. Like you connect with people on so many different levels, and I feel like you can really get along with a lot of people. And even though you have this very fiery side, I feel like you may actually shy away from conflict. You know, you may be very, good at being, what's the word? Oh, I can't think of it. But for example, you may be great at debating. Like you're great at looking at both sides of things. You know, you can look at the black and the white side, but I feel like you're very great at coming to that neutral standpoint, okay, after looking at both sides. So yeah, I feel like you're not somebody that is like a one-track mind. Like you definitely, see things from all sides, which I think is a very positive quality that you possess. Okay, oh yeah, I was going to look at the wisdom deck next. So let's see what else is coming through about you. All about you, group 2. What's coming through? Let me describe you. Okay, so we have TikTok. Happy. Interesting, co-create, which very well aligns with that 7th house of partners. So yeah, I feel like you really do well when you are in a partnership. Okay, you feel like that's when you are at your best, where you thrive. Okay, and maybe you've had a lot of business partnerships or people that come to you to collaborate. Okay, or again, romantic relationships or a friend. Like say, for example, even you go to the gym and you may prefer to train with another person, okay? Or maybe you always like to bounce ideas off of friends, okay, before coming to, your final decision. Even though you clearly have a lot of strong independence about you with all of this fire. And again, it's like, I feel like you wouldn't let it hold you back. Like you wouldn't be somebody that's not going to do something if you don't have a partner or somebody to work with. Like you'll still go ahead and do it alone, but you may actually just prefer to do it with another person or to spend time with another person, okay? Now with happy, I mean, I think that's just really great to see because I feel like you are a naturally positive person, definitely picking up like Sagittarius energy where you may be the ultimate optimist, okay? You always see the glass as half full rather than half empty. Okay, so you always see the good in life, you see the good things, but also you have this beautiful sunny disposition about you. Okay, I feel like you're also quite funny. I'm getting that sense from you, like you're able to make people laugh quite a lot, and that also may make you quite well liked or very popular with different groups of people because yeah, you're just, I feel like naturally funny, naturally quite charismatic. Like you can really work a room. Okay, so again, whether it's for business or whether it's for pleasure, I feel like you have that natural ability to connect with people and to really, again, make them laugh. You make people feel good in your presence. So, you might be somebody that's like, you'll naturally compliment people. Because, there are those people that will always bring others down to try to make themselves feel better, but I don't feel like that's you, okay? I feel like you're somebody that's kind of the opposite, okay? You will say things that bring people up. You will make people feel good. You just have that kind of feel-good energy about you, okay? It's very warm, very enveloping, like you draw people to you magnetically through your positive, fiery energy, okay? Now with TikTok here, I mean, this could be very literal in terms of the app TikTok. Maybe you are on TikTok, maybe you create things on TikTok, maybe you do quite well. Maybe that's something you're destined to do. Maybe that's something you've kind of broken out the box in terms of TikTok. But in a less literal sense with this may be in terms of timing being very important to you. So yeah, you may be somebody that either likes to be on time. That's the sense I'm getting here, that you like to be somebody that's on time, but I feel like you're also not going to get too worried about it. If, for example, you are running late, you may see it in the sense of, this might be divine protection. If I'm running late, maybe it's meant to be in that way. But I do feel like it's strange because I'm getting quite a patient sense from this, but then here I'm getting a bit of impatience. So I'm not sure which side of this it moves on. Obviously, it may be because lots of people are watching this, and it may be that there's a couple of differences, obviously, with people. We're all very unique, obviously. So for some of you watching this, you may resonate with being, a very patient person. You're willing to wait for what you desire, but for others of you, you may feel at times like, I want it now, I want it yesterday. But you may be multifaceted. You may be be somebody that is impatient naturally. You want everything now, you want everything yesterday, but you realize that not everything can come in the exact moment that you want it. So you are willing to hold out and be patient for what you really want. Okay. So let's see what else is coming through here. I do also feel like you've got a star quality about you. Definitely getting some shining Leo coming through here. So again, like I said, in being quite popular, being charismatic. Again, whether these are with your friends, your local community, a wider community online, for example. Okay, we have the World. The Temple Path. Okay. Yeah, I feel like you may be quite sure of what your direction is, okay? Or maybe that your direction is towards peace, okay? Even though, again, you're quite fiery, maybe you have a bit of a hot temper at times, but it's not how you like to come across or how you like to exhibit your energy. Like, I feel like you're very, very much in that Libran energy of, shying away from actual conflicts, trying to, bring peace and harmony to this world, but also within yourself. This may be something you had to work on, actually. Like, you may have been very fiery and hot-tempered as a child or as a teenager, but you've learned over time to temper that, okay, to learn how to work with the energy in different ways. Say, for example, even you have Mars in Aries or Mars in a fire sign, because Mars is the planet of how we show conflict and how we take action. And so it may be something you realize doesn't necessarily go over that well if you're too impulsive at times. I mean, I definitely get some impulsivity here from you, which can be a really great thing because it can cause you to take risks, okay, and to live quite an exciting life in many ways. But yeah, I just feel like there's points in time where you realize it's not always gone down too well, where you've rushed something. So maybe this is where you are learning to be more patient. You didn't start off in this life being a patient person, but as you've grown and evolved over time, it's something that you have started to learn about yourself, and that in order for you to feel at peace, that you need to learn to slow down a little bit. Okay, you can still take action, taking risks, living exciting life, but sometimes taking a moment to think about it. And again, maybe this is why other people are quite helpful to you in this way, because you can talk about it with them and get their perspective on it, even if you don't necessarily agree with their perspective or want to take it on. Sometimes maybe even soundboarding it and just hearing it out loud helps you to come to a decision of some kind. So even if someone says, I don't think it's a wise thing to do, and you may think, I'm not sure, no, I'm still going to go ahead with it. So it may even just give you that sense of clarity that this is something you truly desire, because I really feel like for you, group 2, that you like to really follow what's in your heart, okay? And how it feels and what feels exciting, what feels kind of risky to you. Like, that's something that you really feel inspired to take action on, okay? But you may feel like you just need to wait. Like, I always say sometimes it's great to sleep on something for 5 nights, 5 being the number of change and freedom. Like, if it's a big life decision, then it could be really good to, sometimes 24 hours one sleep isn't enough. But maybe, in terms of arguments and conflicts with other people as well, like taking some space, not reacting so quickly, because again, we can't control how others treat us or how they react to us, but we control our reaction to them. So maybe this is something that you are starting to learn. Maybe this is like your own personal revolution, because here with the World in reverse, this can be about cycles repeating themselves here. And that famous saying, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And so I feel like that saying would be quite apt for you in many ways, group 2, where you realize, if I want a change in my life, or I want a different treatment, or I want to go after something different or to make these changes, then I'm going to need to change within me. I'm going to have to change the way that I take action or the way that I communicate with other people. Okay, so but there's nothing wrong with this cyclical energy anyway. Again, sometimes it can be a really positive thing. Like, sometimes we do need to repeat things a few times until we realize that it definitely doesn't work, so that we can make those changes that help us to transition and to evolve in our lives. For some of you may have moved when you were very young. You may have moved countries, cities, towns. Like, you may maybe you've done that quite a lot in your life. Maybe, like I said, there's a lot of travel energy coming through here. So maybe this is also something you feel pulled towards doing at times. Okay, maybe that's also how you cope with certain stressful situations. Like, because again, maybe you used to face things head on and deal with it in that moment. But now you may be getting to a point where you just want to take a bit of time. Maybe again, you just want to escape at different points rather than dealing with it in that moment. Okay, let's get some animal wisdom cards here as well to see what else is coming through about you, group number 2. Okay, so we have rabbit, sensitive soul, strengthen your boundaries and cut cords. Okay. And then butterfly, emerging, take the leap of faith. Okay, so when you think about butterflies, they are one of the biggest symbols of transformation. When you see that the chrysalis, the butterfly that's within the chrysalis, or the caterpillar rather, that's within the chrysalis, and then it emerges as this beautiful butterfly that is free, free to fly away. So again, that makes sense with that energy of, wanting to maybe put space or distance between you and maybe your problems or certain people, because also with this energy about cutting cords. So you may have been a bit of a people pleaser. Maybe you still have some people pleasing tendencies. Again, like I was saying about, you're able to really work that room. Okay, you're able to connect with so many different people. But because you're able to do that, because you are, I feel like, a social butterfly very naturally, you may also attract people that aren't always the healthiest for you. And so this may be something you are starting to discern about yourself and looking at the people in your life and seeing, do they really serve my highest good? Maybe they did a few years ago or a few months ago, but now maybe they no longer do. Maybe we don't align anymore. So maybe you're also needing to put stronger boundaries in place. Okay. Because I feel like a lot of people will naturally gravitate towards your very powerful and warm energy. People want to be around you. So, which is really a strong compliment to you in that way, group 2. But at the same time, you need to protect yourself. And this may be something you're starting to come to terms with as you evolve, as you age, that it's sometimes better to keep a smaller circle of people you truly trust than to cast a really wide net of people that you may not necessarily trust or may not always have your best interests at heart. Okay. But I still feel like you're somebody that is always going to be able to connect with multiple people, and you're not somebody that's judgmental. I feel like you could be friends with anybody, people of different ethnicities, different religions, different backgrounds, different financial standings, okay? So many, people of various walks of life. Again, which makes you a very naturally likable person. Like, you're giving me yellow energy as like a personality. Again, very vibrant, very positive, very uplifting. Okay. But again, it's like, I feel like you enjoy being around a lot of people. Like, you may like going to places where there are lots of people there. So, big events where there are lots of people, bars or restaurants or festivals or, any kind of event where there's, a lot of things going on. I feel like you need a lot of stimulation in this lifetime, group number 2. And I feel like that stimulation of multiple people and different things happening around you keeps you alive, keeps you excited, keeps you wanting to keep moving in life. So again, I feel like that can be a really positive thing in many ways, but it's also, there are times where you are more discerning, okay, as you age, that, sometimes you do need that downtime as well. Sometimes you need some time alone to, process things, okay? So I'm just going to get some Astro Dice, and I will look at the fishbowl messages too. Okay, so what else is coming through about you as a person, group number 2? Okay, so we have the number 2. We have Saturn and Taurus. Okay, so strong earth energy now coming through. So, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. It co-rules Venus and Libra, which we've also had come through a lot here. So again, I feel like you like the finer things in life. You may enjoy living somewhat of a bougie lifestyle, or that's something that you aim for in this life. Again, maybe you like luxury things, or you like good quality things. and also good quality people. Okay, so even though you may be able to get along with so many different people, and you may have lots of different friends and relationships, but it's all about quality over quantity for you. And again, as you age, I feel like that will become more apparent to you. Okay. I also feel like you're somebody that's wise beyond your years. Okay. You may also be attracted to people that are older, or older people are often attracted to your energy. Okay. Because I feel like even if you're somebody quite young, you definitely have this very smart head on your shoulders. Maybe because you've been through a lot of experiences, which has helped you to gain a lot of wisdom. But I do also feel with Saturn here, you do have a lot of discipline, okay? You're somebody that knows that you have to be consistent if you want to achieve things in this lifetime. And again, maybe that's something you learn as you get older, that if you want to achieve things, you're going to have to put in that work. You're going to have to be consistent. And now the number 2 does connect to the second house, which again, is more Taurus, more Libra energy. So I won't be redundant, keep talking about that. But again, 2 makes me think of 2 people. Again, I really feel like you connect with, maybe you also, like, even though you can work the room, you can be great with lots of other people, but you may actually be best when you are one-on-one with somebody, because I really feel like when you're with another person, you can give them your undivided attention. Okay, so because maybe you get distracted if there's too many other people around or too much stimulation. And so it's like people get the best of you when you're in that one-on-one situation where you can really give them your time and vice versa, them giving you theirs. Okay, you may also see the number 2 a lot in synchronicity. It may be your favorite number. You may have been born on the 2nd or the 2nd month, or even that the year may end in a number 2. Okay, but let's see what the fishbowl messages have to say about you. Okay. It's quite a lot. Let's just take 2 more. Let's have a look. So we've got the 9th house, which is Sagittarius energy, connects to travel, connects to teaching, learning spiritually. Maybe you've evolved spiritually, or maybe you were one religion when you grew up, and then maybe you shifted your belief systems, okay? Or maybe you have remained very strong in your belief systems, but I feel like that's something very powerful about you, is your belief systems. And again, your need to travel and experience things, explore the world. Graceful, lovely, so you do have this lovely energy of grace as you move through life, okay? And I feel like people see that about you, even though again you are very fiery. I feel like you can do things in a very graceful, calm manner. Again, maybe that's something you've learned to do over time. Use your intuition. Okay, so you have a very strong intuition about things. So maybe you notice, like maybe you say certain things and then they come true and you're like, wow, I didn't realize I had that ability. Or this may be as well, like, because intuition can come in many forms. I feel like you've almost got this animal instinct intuition, that gut instinct where you don't necessarily think about it, you just act. And you act in that moment. And when you act in that moment, it's like you're following your intuition, like animals do in the wild. Like the rabbit here, for example, will sense if there is a predator around, and it will just run. Like it won't sit there and think, there's a fox behind me, I should probably run in the other direction. It won't have that thought process. It will just bolt because it senses it. So I feel like that might be something, about the way that you do use your intuition in that way. Okay, we've got 666. So again, another number in synchronicity you may see a lot. I know some people can get scared and think it's the devil number. It technically isn't actually the devil number. 666 can actually be about connection with other people, emotional connection to other people, which makes sense with everything that's come through. Okay, we've got teacher. Which also connects to the 9th house. So maybe this is something that you do, that you are a teacher. Maybe it's something you are born to do, something that you will do later on. And obviously teaching can come in many forms. It doesn't have to be in the traditional setting of a school, for example, but it could be something that you love, something that you've, gone through yourself, something that you have a lot of knowledge and wisdom about that you're able to share with other people. We've got 1 week. I don't know what that means, quite honestly, in terms of you as a person. Maybe it is that you need a week. I was saying about sleeping on something for 5 nights. Maybe you need a week, or maybe each week it's like you have different focuses. So one week you'll be focused on, travel, booking trips. The next week you'll be focused on your physical appearance, or going to the gym, or training, or doing a sport. Or the next week you'll be focusing on learning and higher evolving. So that could be how that plays out for you. Okay, so what else do we have? We've got Wolf, we've got May, and Face. Okay, so yeah, I feel like you have a very strong Face card. Okay, I feel like that could be something that really draws people to you. Maybe oftentimes people say that, you're very beautiful or very handsome. Maybe you've got a very conventionally attractive face, or maybe even just something interesting or unique about your face that people will comment on, or maybe even like a famous looking face. Maybe people tell you you look like somebody famous. Okay. May could be a month, obviously, that you are born within, but May also connects to the energy of Taurus. Okay, so again, lots of Taurian energy, but also Aries. Oh, is it Aries? Wait, 23rd of April. No, it would be Gemini. So you may have strong Gemini Taurus in your chart. You may also notice this being a time of year that you really start to thrive in some ways, or maybe certain monumental shifts have happened during this month for you. So maybe you're able to look back and see how different things have changed for you during this particular time. And then Wolf makes perfect sense as well when I was saying about those leadership qualities, because of course wolves will lead the pack. Okay, I certainly don't feel like this is a lone wolf energy. Sometimes it may feel lonely, especially on your climb to the top. Okay, because you may feel like, again, with these boundaries and cutting cords, at times it may feel lonely, and you may feel like as well, if you're the one leading, you may not feel like you resonate with the people following you in that way. So you may struggle to also connect with people that aren't necessarily on the same level as you, and not saying that you're any better than other people in that position, but just in the sense of you're always striving to be better, to reach the top. Some people are just happy to coast. Some people are, or they have different goals that they are leading towards, and they might be leaders in other areas, but they're able to follow you in a particular way. Okay, but like I said, you're definitely somebody that's very, very strong. Definitely somebody also I feel like people don't really want to mess with. Okay, you have that kind of energy where it's like, I feel like you're somebody very nice, somebody that is very sweet, again with a happy disposition, but it's like if people cross you, you're gonna release that wrath. Okay, and people also sense that about you, and I feel like that also helps people to respect you, because you're not somebody that can be walked all over. And especially if you did face that in your formative years, especially if you were more of a people pleaser, and as you've aged and evolved, you've come to a point where you don't take any crap from people. Okay, you don't let people disrespect you, and you make that very well known. So again, I feel like that word spreads like fire. Okay, so it's like people realize I can't mess with group 2. It's just not worth it. So again, you're a very, very strong character, group 2. So I really do hope that this resonates with you. If it does, please comment a red emoji of your choice, or just liking the video or subscribing to my channel shows your energetic support. So I really do appreciate that in advance. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, the link to my website is below. I do hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye for now. Hi, group 3. So let's take a look at describing you perfectly, accurately as a person. What's coming through about you right now, group 3? What is coming through about you? Okay, so we have Saturn return, age. Water element, sensing. Part of fortune, increase. Okay. So you may have strong Capricorn in your chart, with Saturn being the ruler of Capricorn, and the part of fortune as well. Okay, definitely connecting to earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But then we also have water coming through here, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. So I feel like you've definitely got a strong mix of earth and water, either within your chart or just that makes up you as a person. Okay, I feel like you're definitely somebody that is very, very wise, even if you're somebody very young. Okay, you may have even been told as a child like that you're an old soul. Okay, that you just had a lot of wisdom from a very young age. Okay, so it may be that this was passed down through past lives. Okay, but it may also be in terms of the male figures in your life. Okay, for some of you, you may have had issues with authority figures, whether that be at home, within school, or within your work. Okay, but there's definitely a strong like father figure coming through here. So again, it's going to resonate differently for everybody in the sense of, you know, how this plays out for you. Okay, for some of you, you may have had, you know, a very strict upbringing. Okay, you may have had quite a controlled upbringing, and yeah, maybe you were always pushed to achieve all the time, and you didn't always feel like your emotions were looked after or nurtured in the way that you wished they would be. But this may have actually hardened you at times to your emotions, or it may have caused you to actually repress your emotions. So yeah, you might be quite stoic. Okay, as a person, you may be, you know, always appearing like everything's fine. You're always very calm, you know, always very rational. But I definitely feel like there's a lot of emotion that's kind of bubbling up under the surface here. So I feel like you definitely don't let that show to a lot of people. You definitely keep a lot of that to yourself. Like, you don't like to show your emotions because you may even feel like it's showing weakness in some way. Maybe that's what your parents or again teachers or people in your life have told you, that it was weak to show emotion in some way. Okay, especially if you're a masculine, divine masculine watching this, you know, that can be such a indoctrinated viewpoint to feel like it's not masculine to express emotion. Okay, but emotion can obviously manifest in so many different ways. But I feel like, yeah, there's definitely sometimes a bit of a block when it comes to that. You may also have your moon in the sign of Capricorn, for example, or moon in Scorpio, which are debilitated or full placements for the moon. So this may be where, you know, there could be some emotional upheaval at points in your life. But I do also feel like it does make you quite an empathetic person, where you're able to understand other people's feelings. Even if you don't express them outwardly to others, I feel like you're able to understand what other people are really going through, especially with what you may have experienced in your formative years. Okay, I definitely feel like there may have been some level of restriction here in your childhood or your teenage years. So again, whether that was through your parents and upbringing, or, you know, maybe there was a limitation in some form. Maybe you felt limited in school, for example, or maybe even in terms of finances. Okay, there could have been issues in some way. And I feel like it's actually made you want to be successful. It's made you want to, you know, be a high achiever in this lifetime. So yeah, for some of you, maybe you had, you know, you might have had lots of money, but maybe when you were growing up, but maybe you didn't have as much emotional nurturing. Or again, it could be kind of the other way around. But regardless, I feel like something that you're very, very keen to achieve is money. Okay, you're part of fortune. I feel like that's something you are actually destined to achieve here as well, is, you know, a good amount of money. And, you know, maybe you're naturally somebody that's very good at saving, okay, or being very disciplined with it. Okay, maybe you are just a naturally very disciplined person. Okay, but it may be something that you've had to work on. Okay, and maybe it's also connected to your emotions, being able to express your emotions a bit more openly and fluidly, in order to bring through more happiness. Okay, but you're definitely someone that senses things about other people. Like, you have a very strong sixth sense when it comes to Also, I'm just making sure everything is lined up, okay? A strong sense to what other people are feeling, or maybe even like you sense where money is. Like you're almost like a truffle pig, that can sniff out where the truffles are. Like I feel like you have that ability to kind of sniff out where there's money to be made, okay? And it may be the more you connect with your emotions, you may be able to sniff out more of those truffles or more of those, financial opportunities in this lifetime. Okay. You may even look either a bit older than your age, or maybe even when you were younger, like you may have been able to get into clubs or something, like looking older or dressing older. It may just be more so the way that you dress. Okay. Like you might be quite conservative, or you might be quite reserved in certain ways. Unfinished symphony. So yeah, you may feel like there's some level of unfinished business in your life that you feel like you need to attend to. Again, maybe this goes back to your childhood, or you may struggle at times to finish projects, okay? But at the same time, you do have a lot of discipline within you. But maybe there's also a part of rebellion here, okay? If, again, you were always pushed a lot as a child, you may feel like part of you actually rebels against being pushed, and so you may end up leaving a few projects unfinished. But I feel like it's actually in some ways a good thing, okay? Because I feel like you will complete the things that really need to be done, but you may realize that certain things aren't worth your time, okay? And you may suss out that there's a different opportunity that would be better for you. So sometimes it's like you don't feel that need to necessarily win at everything to, complete every single thing that you do, because you may sense that your time will be better spent elsewhere. So I feel like, again, you're very wise when it comes to these things, okay? Like if you feel like, I just sense that this isn't going to go the way that, I'm wanting it to, or it's going to be a waste of time. So it's then like, you don't want to waste that. You see your time as being incredibly valuable, which it truly is, okay? But you may feel as well that maybe certain relationships have felt like there's, unfinished business. You may be, thinking about the past a lot and wondering about previous relationships or previous projects and wondering, should I have thrown in the towel? Should I have given up on those things? Should I have kept going in some way? And then we've got new life. Yeah, so I feel like you have actually created a new life for yourself, okay? Like, again, through what you may have experienced as when you were growing up, you may have gone in a very different path to your family, okay, or to your ancestors, or even to, the people that you grew up with. You may have decided to, cast your net further and to do things in a different way, okay, to start new things. And I feel like, yeah, there's definitely been a lot of awakenings that you've gone through in your life, okay? You've been woken up to the fact that maybe, you don't want to continue with certain things. I feel like this is about maybe even releasing certain habits, okay? Maybe there were things that you were doing that were detrimental to you that you decided to let go of, okay? Now, I also feel like sleep is something that's very, very important for you. I mean, collectively, of course, sleep is important for us all, but I feel like especially for you, group 3, there is this, need for you to get a lot of sleep. Like you need a lot of rest, because I get the sense in a past life you may have had a lot of issues. You may not have got the rest that you needed, and maybe you had struggles or insomnia. Okay, maybe you struggled with that previously, but yeah, I feel like you're somebody that's very good at being able to start over again. Okay, and that you are not afraid to start over again. Like you may resist the change at first, okay? You may feel like at times you can get stuck in your ways, but ultimately I feel like when you realize that it's not serving you, you're able to start again. And again, it comes back to that unfinished business here, where you feel like, yeah, you know what? It's fine. I've let that go. I'm ready to start something new. So I feel like you're really great at being able to start new projects, to initiate new things into this lifetime. Okay, and to be able to see things from a new perspective. You're not going to stay in this rigid way of thinking all the time. And then we've got breathe. Yeah. So I really feel like you're definitely somebody that's very patient. Okay, you're not somebody that's that impulsive or that rushes into things too quickly. Okay, again, you're great at being able to start new things, but I feel like, again, it will take you time to think about it. Okay, and I feel like you realize that, being peaceful, being calm, being stoic is definitely something that is beneficial for you. Okay, so maybe, you practice meditation or yoga, okay, or some other kind of mindfulness practice, which helps you to remain very much in the present moment. And I feel like it's something that very much helps you with your emotions, your emotional stability at times. Like, again, maybe this is like you tell people, look, let me think about this. Like, say somebody offers you something or asks you a question, and you're not necessarily just going to answer it straight away to appease them. I feel like you're very much, going to say, you know what, for my benefit, I'm going to take my time to think about this. I'm not just going to let you know straight away just because that's what you want. So I feel like you won't do well with like demanding people in your life. If somebody's too demanding of you, you'll cut them out, or you'll say, you know what, just I need some space. I need a breather. I just need to take some time because I need to think what's right for me ultimately. Because again, you may have felt a lot of pressure previously in your lifetime where you felt pressure to make decisions quickly, or even like it's hard in school, for example, because it's not one size fits all, but the way the school system is set out is, that it is for, everybody you need to know exactly what you want to do. You need to know, each step you have to take in order to achieve what you want. And, maybe you did have certain ideas about what you wanted to do. Because again, that Capricorn energy, being very disciplined, being consistent. So maybe you did, know what you wanted to do, for example, and you followed that. But I feel like in a lot of ways, you just feel like you need that time. It's like I said, you'll be like, you know what, give me some space. I'm going to think about it. I will let you know when I have come to my decision. Like, you won't let anybody else overly pressurize you or force you to make decisions. So again, this could even be, like I said, when it comes to bosses or people in charge or authority figures in your life, where as you evolve, you say, yeah, no, just because you want it at this very moment doesn't mean you're going to get it at this moment. I would rather give you either this answer or this work or whatever it needs to be when it's done properly, when I feel like, I've done my best, okay, or that, I've had time to really think about the answers I need to give you, okay. So I feel like that's a very powerful gift that you have, group 3, where you are not overly impulsive. I mean, it's always great to take some risks in life, of course. It helps to get the ball rolling, helps you to achieve certain things in life, but not everybody's energy works in that way. And some people are a lot more slow and patient and need time. And I feel like this is something that you are definitely starting to evolve with. It's like you don't need to be on anybody else's time frame. So maybe this is even, you create your own business, or you set things up, you set your routine, your lifestyle up in a certain way that gives you that bit of space, that gives you that freedom and that ability to take your time with things, okay? Woman holding a coin. Yeah, again, very strong earth energy. Okay, you're definitely giving me old money vibes, group 3. Okay, so again, you could come from old money. You could be somebody that maybe you're going to, even if you're the pioneer of this, you may be somebody that creates a certain business or something in this life that you'll be passing down for generations to come, like passing down this generational wealth. So yeah, either you may come from it, or you're going to be the one that starts this generational wealth. Like, you could be the first millionaire in your family, for example. Okay. I also feel like it's about the way that you dress. Again, something about the way you dress is very mature, again, quite classic in a way, but you definitely come across as somebody that is well moneyed, okay, so that you like luxury things, but not in a kind of showy way or an attention-seeking way, but in a way that it's kind of understated, I'm getting. It's like you dress, yeah, or your appearance, your first impression is quite understated, but again, it's like very classy. That's the energy I'm getting. Like, everything you do is classy. The way that you speak, the way that you dress, the way that you come across is ultimate class, okay? You're a class act, group 3. You really are. And I do feel like wealth and security is something that's very, very important to you, okay? So no matter what you experienced growing up, again, whether you had, a lot of money or you had no money at all, it's like, it's something that's really instilled within you that, having that sense of security is of the utmost importance to you. And then interesting, we have woman holding a heart in reverse. So yeah, again, I feel like that makes sense with that stoicism that I was getting, and possibly with that emotional restriction. Okay, so again, you may struggle to express emotions. Now, you may have, a very small group of people that you're able to share these things with. So maybe you've got, a very close-knit group of friends, or just certain family members that you will open up and share what you're going through with. But you're definitely not somebody that shares a lot with multiple people. You won't be somebody that, say, talks to a stranger about your problems, or discusses all of your issues on social media or anything like that. I feel like you'll keep a lot of that to yourself, and you'll only confide in those that you truly trust, and people that you have built long-term relationships with. Again, I feel like it takes you a long time to trust people, and again, that may stem from what you've experienced when you were younger, or through previous relationships. If you've been hurt or if you've been betrayed, it's caused you to kind of close off in that way. But there's nothing wrong with that, because there's self-protection there. As long as you're able to express your emotions in some form, like maybe even through writing, for example, through journaling, okay, or however else you can do this. There's many different ways you can express yourself without necessarily having to talk it out. Not everybody needs to talk it out. Everybody has their own process and way of dealing with things, okay? Now, you may have also struggled with your mother or a mother figure in your life that may have not been that nurturing, okay, may not have always nurtured your emotions, okay. I'm definitely getting like a strong mother, father figure here, maybe a father that was either absent or distant, closed off, or very strict in some way, and a mother that may have been, quite emotionally distant herself, or unnurturing, or maybe even a mother that passed on at an early age or something. It could be for some of you, which also cause you to close off because of the pain that you experienced. It's oftentimes the people that can appear the coldest on the outside that are actually the most sensitive on the inside, because they are truly trying to protect themselves. Okay, so definitely there's a lot about protection coming through here, protection of your heart, okay? And you may even be, putting all of this energy into your work, into your career, into, building wealth, building that generational wealth, building a home, okay, in order to, that may be the way that you kind of deal with your emotions in some way, through work, okay. Again, there might be some avoidance in that, but I do feel like it's a way that it might help you to channel your emotions. Maybe you even work with helping people through their emotional problems, okay? That could also be a level of avoidance of what you're going through, is by actually helping other people. Because as I said, I do feel you are a very kind, empathetic person. You really do care about other people. I feel like you care about animals as well. I feel like animals are really close to your heart, okay? But again, you're not just going to let anybody in. I don't feel like you are a people pleaser. I feel like you are, somebody that realizes you need to please yourself ultimately. And not to say, you are kind and you'll do good things for other people, but I don't feel like you're somebody that tries to be liked by others, okay? Or that cares too much about being liked by others. Like, it's kind of like me for who I am, or don't. I don't really care. I'm not going to pretend or try to be something in order to fit in. Like, I'm just going to be myself. And if you appreciate and value me, then great. If not, there's the door, okay? That's the energy that I get from you. Okay, then we've got Penguin. Diamond light activation. Light activations and new energies are coming your way. Be open to receive and welcome them in. Okay, 1 second. I just see my low batteries coming on. Okay. And then Butterfly, emerging, take the leap of faith. So yeah, that makes sense as well with that new life card here. Like I said, I definitely feel like you've gone through a lot of awakenings, a lot of transitions, transformations in your life. You may have strong Scorpio placements here as well, because Scorpio represents transformation, regeneration. So you may not even recognize yourself, like where you are now from where you were previously. So maybe you were a people pleaser, or somebody that was trying to be liked when you were younger, but you've evolved past that and you don't really care for that anymore. Okay, because I'm getting like kind of social butterfly energy with this. So may also be a lot of people actually want to get to know you, want to get your attention, want to be friends with you, want to have a relationship with you. But, I just see you kind of being in that Saturn energy, crossing your arms, being like, not interested. Like, I feel like you're somebody very, very selective. You're very selective who you surround yourself with, who you let into your inner circle, which is very wise. Okay, because other people's energy will bleed into yours. If you're always surrounded with people that are going through drama and chaos and that are emotional vampires, then, that will start to bleed into your life. And I feel like that's maybe something that you've realized, group 3, is that you need to be more discerning about, keeping your circle small. And it's better to have, say, one really true, honest, loyal friend than 10 fake friends. Okay, so yeah, I do feel like that's the energy that you're in when it comes to, your social life. And again, maybe why you put extra energy into, building your wealth, building up your career, and, finding that sense of stability. So you feel quite grounded, quite safe and secure. Okay, but it may also be that sometimes you are guided to take a leap of faith. Okay, maybe sometimes you realize that you can be too rigid and you don't take enough risks. And so I do feel that that's something, that you're going to have balance in. Okay, maybe you've come to this point where you've got a bit more balance. Like, sometimes it is okay to let somebody new in, and you'll never know if you can trust somebody if you don't ever, let somebody in. Okay, but obviously it's just built over time. You don't need to share all of your deepest, darkest fears and secrets with a new person, but you start to learn to trust them over the span of months and years as to whether you can really trust them with, your inner world. Okay, so I feel like that's something that you're definitely, maybe relearning about yourself. But I feel like you're always reinventing yourself as well, group 3. So again, how you were 5 years ago may be very different to how you are now, and how you will be in 5 years from now may be very different to how you are now. But of course, you've got the, these intrinsic characteristics that make you who you are, which will never change. But I feel like it's always powerful to evolve, and it's, very powerful to reinvent yourself as well. Okay, so you're never just staying in the exact same energy, place, having the exact same ideas, being too rigid at times, and being able to be a little bit more flexible, being a little bit more open. Okay, and it's interesting here with that diamond light activation. So much about activations here, so many different powerful points. And I feel like it may be through a lot of pain that you've gone through a lot of struggles that you've had, have helped you to awaken, to see things from a new perspective, to see things in a brand new light. Okay, you may have a bit of a black and white personality as well. Like, you either really love something or you hate it. Okay, maybe you even think other people are like that with you. Like, people either really love you or they seem to really dislike you in some way, which I don't know if that's necessarily true. It may just be your own projections. Okay, but yeah, I feel like you're definitely able to see things on both sides, but I feel like sometimes you can get polarized, you can get stuck on one side of things. Like, say, even like with politics, for example, being very, very right or very, very left. Okay, maybe that's something that you start to learn over time, is to be a little bit more in the middle. Like, you can agree with certain policies on the right and certain policies on the left, and obviously when it comes down to voting, you have to choose one if you do go down that route. But ultimately, you can agree with both sides, and that's okay, So anyway, let's just get some more information. I'm going to look at the Astro Dice and then the fishbowl messages. So what's coming through about you? Okay, so interesting. We've got Gemini, we've got Mercury, which rules Gemini, and we've got the number 9. Okay, so you may either be born on the 9th date, the 9th month, maybe the end of the year will end in a 9. Maybe even something happened, whether it was 1999, 1989, 2009. Okay, 9 may, be a very important number for you, where there's a lot of transitions happened for you. It could be a number you see a lot in synchronicity as well, but it's also the number connected to the 9th house, which connects to long distance travel. So again, it could be, if you may have moved, somewhere very far away, which could make you feel restricted, whether that was in your childhood or, maybe in your adult years. Maybe you even feel like you don't fit in where you really are. Okay, like maybe you feel like you've been born in the wrong place and you just don't feel like people understand you quite so much. That could also be something coming through. Now, with Gemini, I mean, it's basically double Gemini, double Mercury. Okay, so there's a lot of mental activity coming through here. So yeah, I feel like you are somebody that thinks a lot. Okay, like again, which makes sense with that breathe energy. Like you feel like, you know, maybe you overthink things sometimes, or again, it's like you need a lot of time to think things through because you don't want to speak out impulsively. Maybe you were punished for that as well, for speaking up or speaking your mind when you were younger in different ways. And maybe that sort of taught you to kind of close off or shut down from speaking up. But I feel like that's something that you're definitely evolving through. And I feel like your voice is also incredibly powerful. Group 3, maybe you have a very powerful singing voice, or maybe you are an excellent motivator, or again, you've got the way that you can speak or give information across is very powerful, and people really listen. And I also feel like because you're not somebody that does talk incessantly, like when you do speak, people listen. Again, maybe they didn't always, maybe you felt ignored in certain ways, but I feel like as you've gotten older, it's like you really see the value in communication and in holding back, okay, being patient and, you know, really thinking about the words you choose to use and to speak out loud, okay. Again, it's like I don't feel like you're somebody who will just speak for the sake of speaking. You know, some people just like to kind of speak all day about maybe not necessarily anything important, but just, you know, they've got a very overactive throat chakra and they need to keep talking. Whereas for you, again, I feel like it's very much like, you know, is what I'm going to say useful? You know, is there a purpose to what I'm going to communicate? Okay, so let's just get some fishbowl messages on this. I'm going to have to be a bit quick before my camera dies. Okay. So we've got body language. So yeah, I feel like you're very good at assessing body language, which also makes sense about being quiet, you know, being a listener rather than a speaker all the time. Like you can assess people's body language. And I feel like you're somebody very good at being able to read other people's body language. And maybe why you are also quite stoic, because you don't want other people to read you. So you keep quite a poker face, you know, even your body language, you try to keep quite still so people can't quite understand what you're trying to convey with your body language. We've got walking away, which again, I don't feel like you are averse to walking away if something doesn't serve you, okay? But you may have had, like I said, people in your life that have walked away from you, which caused you a lot of pain. We've got creative. So yeah, I feel like you are naturally somebody very creative. And this may be something that you like to do, you know, on your own time. Maybe, again, you're very patient with your creativity. I feel like you were definitely a very creative child. Maybe that kind of got stifled at different points, but you start to pick it up more in your adult years. And, you know, that's something that you enjoy to do. Maybe that's a way in which you express your emotions as well. Introverts. I mean, that doesn't really need much explaining with everything else that's come through. Resolution. Yeah, so I feel like you are very good at finding resolutions to things. Like, I feel like people will come to you, like, if they need something fixed, if they need advice. Okay, you're very good at being able to give advice to people, even if you haven't gone through something specifically that they're going through. I feel like you just have a very mature way of looking at things, which helps, you know, yourself to come to resolutions, but also other people. Okay, so we've got journalist. Okay, so you may be, and that makes sense with Gemini there as well. Maybe you're a writer, you know, maybe that's something you enjoy doing, or something you're very naturally gifted at, okay, is writing. Or, you know, maybe it's like current affairs and things like that that you're very interested in. Okay, and maybe that's what you spend time doing in your downtime. We have missed opportunity, which kind of makes sense with that unfinished symphony here. You may often go back to the past and think that you've missed out on opportunities, okay? But I do feel like, and it's okay, sometimes like we need to have regrets in life, because it then forces us to not repeat those same mistakes. So say, I don't know, say you might have an avoidant attachment style, for example. Maybe you walk away and you felt like you walked away too quickly from someone, which then creates that sense of like, okay, so next time I'm going to be more patient and I'm not going to just walk away, you know, as soon as I feel uncomfortable. Okay, so yeah, I feel like these can actually be blessings in disguise, where you feel like certain opportunities have been missed. and not to sort of dwell on them and to feel, to get depressed about it and worry about it as such, because they're in the past. But, being able to move forwards and say, okay, this is what I can change moving forwards. If certain people or certain things were meant to be in my life, I would have stuck by them, but still something for you to learn ultimately in this lifetime. And then stick to the plan. So again, makes very much sense with that a Capricornian energy that's come through. Like, you are somebody that, maybe you are very plan orientated. You might like to have, your weeks planned out in advance, or, you might have a very rich schedule. And, maybe in terms of your work, this is what helps to create success, is having a plan and sticking to it. Okay. You may be quite rigid in that sense. You may not, like plans to change too much. Okay. And again, nothing wrong with that. Everybody's different. Some people are much more fluid and free, and that's the way they are. But for you, it's like you see this as something very important to you. And maybe this is also in connection to other people. Like, you may not connect with people that are a bit more flaky or a bit more sort of go with the flow. You may need other people in your life that are also very regimented. And especially if you felt like you've been disappointed a lot or let down in your life, you may feel like, yeah, I need people that are loyal and that are disciplined, and that will, if they say they're going to do something, they'll do it, because that's very much the way that you are. If you promise something, you're going to do it. Okay, so maybe as well, while you hold back, you won't necessarily make promises, willy-nilly. You'll only do it if, you know that you can commit to something. And when you can commit, that's it. You're going to stick to it. So this is what I feel like is one of your superpowers, Group 3, which helps you to create that long-term success that you truly desire and ultimately deserve. So I really do hope that this resonates with you, Group 3. If it does, please comment a black emoji, any of your choice, or liking the video or subscribing to my channel shows your energetic support. So thank you so much in advance. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, the link to my website is below. I do hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye for now.